So in the early to mid 1980s, hockey fans across Canada were treated to a lot of non-tops and OPG hockey card sets. You had the Nielsen set with the chocolate bars. You had the various Post sets. Well, one of the most popular and, of course, the most underrated and actually been gaining in value in the last 5 years was the 1983-84 Vachon Cakes set. Now, there was a total of 140 cards in the set, totally bilingual, and they were put out by the great culinary company Vachon Cakes out of Quebec. Now, for any Americans listening to these podcasts, just like some of the cake companies like Drake and Hostess in the state who did put out baseball and other cards, these cards came 2 in a sheet in a package of 6, what is called a Vachon family pack. Back in the 80s, like in 2020, a Vachon product can be bought in 6-packs, not the individual ones, and the inserts were inside. Now, the uncut 2 sheets would feature players from 2 different NHL teams of the 7 Canadians. Now, these cards included some of the great superstars of the 1970s who continued past the WHA merge, and featured some of the top players of the era. You had some of the best Calgary Flames players, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Montreal, Toronto, Quebec, Montreal players were very popular. Again, just to recap, make sure nobody's left out. Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Quebec, Toronto, Winnipeg, and Vancouver. Now, there is some error cards in here. Some of them are double printed. Some of them are technically rookie cards. And some of them, according to my research of it, include certain players that probably would not have been put on a hockey card were it not for the Vachon set. Now, 20 cards per team. And, of course, the most popular for my money was the Edmonton set, the 20-card set. This is the cards you collect, and this is one of the few Gretzky cards of that era you can get for less than $100, but very close. Now, Edmonton players, you had Anderson, Coffey, Grand Fuhrer, Gretzky, Huddy, Dave Hunter, Yari Curry, Kenny Linsman, Kevin Lowe, Lumley, Messi, Moog, and Semenko. So the key players are there. Now, I'm going to mention Montreal because it was kind of unofficial, kind of up-and-coming players. You had Carbonneau, Ken Carlson, Delorme, Gainey, Jean Mel, one of his few Montreal Canadiens cards, Mark Huntler, Guy Lafleur, Craig Ludwig, Pierre Mondu, Matt Snassen, Chris Nolan, Breg Posolowski, who, of course, him and Delorme and Wickenheiser were traded to St. Louis before the end of the season. You had also the Rick Walmsley, the controversial card, because everybody thought he was going to be traded by the end of the season, and I think it was Steve Schutt's last Montreal Canadian card printed anyway. So a very interesting set to see some of the future Hall of Famers, some of the old logos. The set had a very simple design with the basic team logo in the upper left, the colors of the team in the lower right, and of course the beautiful Vachon Cakes logo. And we always used to say with Vachon cards, play him, trade him, cut him. Now, the Stewart set put out Expos, I think, in 83 and 84, and those are great designs too. But a simple design. Now, they look like NHLPA cards from back in the day, but they had a better layout. And if you look at the early to mid 1980s layout, it had a lot of curves in it. It was either straight or curves to, go with the flow of the, the NHL style, design. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. If you have any Vachon cakes in your collection, please track me down and send them to me. But I don't know how many of the cards were printed. I'm thinking it could have been 50,000 sets because Vachon cakes were very popular. So you look 2 to a box. It might have been, I don't know, 1 million cards maybe? You never know. But they show up every once in a while, but the there's two minds of this. People who cut the cards may have damaged them, but some people put a better value on the two card panels, especially the Gretzky. I've seen a Gretzky go as high as $150 American for obvious reasons, because the U.S. demand for Gretzky cards have gone up. I know that a Lanny McDonald card is very underrated, so it might be a good investment. And also the Montreal set from that year, because again, it was the last cards for certain Habs players, or the second to last card, especially Steve Shutso. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.